Just 90 miles from Florida sits Cuba, an island the United States has been in conflict with for over 60 years. In 2026, tensions are rapidly escalating. After removing Maduro in Venezuela and striking Iran, many are now asking, is Cuba next? Could the U.S. launch another military operation or even an invasion to finally end the regime? Today I'll explain the full history, the real reasons behind the feud, the trade embargo, and what might happen next. The story begins in 1959 when Fidel Castro led a revolution and turned Cuba into a communist country. He took over American-owned businesses and allied with the Soviet Union. The United States saw this as a direct threat right in its backyard. So in 1961, just 2 years after the revolution, the CIA secretly trained and armed about 1,400 Cuban exiles living in Florida. Their plan was called the Bay of Pigs invasion. The goal was simple: land on the southern coast of Cuba, spark a popular uprising against Castro, and overthrow the new communist government. The U.S. expected it to be quick and easy, but it was a complete disaster. The invasion force was badly outnumbered and outgunned. Within just 3 days, Castro's forces crushed the attackers. Over 1,000 exiles were captured and later ransomed back to the United States. The worst part for Cuba? It became crystal clear that the United States had planned, funded, and supported the entire operation. This event created deep, lasting distrust toward America. After this failed operation came the most dangerous moment: the Cuban Missile Crisis in October 1962. The Soviets secretly placed nuclear missiles in Cuba, capable of hitting major U.S. cities in just minutes. For 13 terrifying days, the world stood on the edge of nuclear war. President Kennedy ordered a naval blockade around Cuba. Behind the scenes, intense secret negotiations took place. The crisis was finally resolved when the Soviets agreed to remove all their missiles from Cuba. In return, the United States promised not to invade Cuba and secretly removed its own nuclear missiles from Turkey. Fast forward to today, and the tension is higher than it's been in years. After the United States removed Nicolas Maduro from power in Venezuela, Cuba lost its main source of cheap oil. The island is now suffering its worst energy crisis in decades. Blackouts last up to 20 hours a day, factories have shut down, and there are serious shortages of food and medicine. As of late May, the Trump administration positioned a large naval force near Cuba, including the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier group, guided missile destroyers, and thousands of Marines. The Pentagon is quietly reviewing different military options and running planning exercises. President Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio have both publicly raised the possibility of military intervention. At the same time, diplomatic talks are still happening. Top U.S. officials, including CIA Director John Ratcliffe, have met with Cuban representatives in recent months. The U.S. has offered humanitarian aid and some economic relief in exchange for major reforms. Cuba says it's open to dialogue but warns that any military action would lead to serious resistance. So far, the U.S. is mainly using heavy economic pressure, but the military buildup shows that stronger options remain on the table. What do you guys think? Should the U.S. keep pressuring Cuba, try to make a deal, or even consider stronger action? Let me know in the comments below. If you're enjoying these simple breakdowns of current events, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps with growth. Also, drop any other topics you want me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.